Hey friends, welcome back. I'm Phoenix, a quiet girl with a strong spirit and a heart that loves to wander. Life has taught me how to be strong, not in a loud, dramatic way, but in the quiet, soft moments when no one is watching. Through every challenge, I collect stories, and here, I share them with you. So take a deep breath, and let's begin today's journey together. I want to start tonight with something small. Not big, not bold. Just a whisper. A quiet sigh. A little unfinished thing. Maybe it's a message you meant to send. A book you meant to start. A dream you were so excited about. But now it's dusty. Somewhere between I'll do it tomorrow, and I just don't feel ready. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're not alone. You're just carrying something heavy. A quiet, invisible kind of heavy. The kind of heavy that no one claps for. The kind you hide behind a smile and say, I'll get to it soon. But you haven't. And part of you wonders if you ever will. This episode is not a productivity boot camp. We're not going to push you to hustle. We're not going to shame your pauses. This is a safe space, a soft corner of the universe, where we talk about procrastination as a human thing. A tender thing. A thing that doesn't mean we're lazy, it means we're scared. And tired. And maybe, deep down, just longing to feel safe again before we move forward. So tonight, let's talk about it. The gentle war inside us. The pause before we begin. The fear inside the silence. The beautiful, brave thing called starting, even if we start small. If this resonates with you, welcome. You belong here. Now let's walk through this together. The other night, I stood in my kitchen. It was quiet, the kind of quiet that feels heavy, almost like it has its own sound. I opened the cabinet. There were the tea bags sitting there waiting. Chamomile, green tea, Earl Grey. So many choices, all so gentle, all so ready to comfort me. I thought, I should make myself a cup of tea. And then, I didn't. I just stood there, staring. And then I closed the cabinet, walked back to my desk, and scrolled on my phone instead. It wasn't the first time. In fact, it wasn't even the 10th time. That cup of tea has lived in my mind for weeks. Always a thought, never a reality. And it hit me, it's not about the tea. It's about how even the smallest action, the simplest choice, can feel so far away. Like there's a wall made of air between me and the thing I want to do. Maybe you've felt this too. Not with tea, maybe, but with something else. The email you keep meaning to send. The book you bought but never opened. The dream you wrote down on a scrap of paper, folded, and hid in a drawer. It's like life keeps whispering, do it now. But our hearts whisper back, not yet. And so we wait. Minutes turn to hours. Hours turn to days. And suddenly, the waiting becomes a habit. A rhythm of delay that feels safer than moving forward. I wonder, what is your cup of tea? That one small, simple thing you keep postponing. Maybe it's calling your parents. Maybe it's cleaning that corner of your room. Maybe it's finally starting that project you've been dreaming of for years. It's not that you don't care. It's not that you don't want to. It's just, something inside you hesitates. Almost like your soul is standing at the edge of a pool, toes in the water, but unable to dive. When I stood in my kitchen, staring at those tea bags, I laughed at myself softly. Because deep down I knew, this is procrastination. Not the loud kind where you abandon huge dreams, but the quiet kind, the kind that sneaks into your everyday life, stealing little moments one by one. And the scary thing? It's not about tea at all. It's about trust. Trusting myself to take action, trusting that the small step will matter. Because if I can't start with tea, how will I start with the bigger things? Sometimes procrastination feels like a ghost. It sits beside you, whispers in your ear. Later. Tomorrow. Next week. And you nod, because tomorrow feels safer than today. But tomorrow is slippery. It keeps sliding away. Until one day you realize you've been waiting for years. So here's my quiet question for you tonight. What's the cup of tea in your life? That tiny, simple thing you could do right now, but you keep delaying. Think about it. Hold it gently in your mind. Don't judge yourself. Don't shame yourself. Just notice it, like holding a fragile cup in your hands. Because awareness is the first step. And sometimes, noticing is already a kind of action. And you know what? That night, I didn't make the tea. And that's okay too. Because the next morning, when the sun came in through the window, I walked to the kitchen again. And this time I did it. I boiled the water. I placed the tea bag in my favorite mug. I poured, I waited, I sipped. And as the warm liquid touched my lips, I thought, this is what it feels like to start. Not dramatic. Not world-changing. Just small. Just gentle. Just human. So if you're listening right now, Maybe your cup of tea is waiting for you too. And maybe, just maybe, tonight you'll take the first sip. Let's be honest. Procrastination feels heavy. It feels embarrassing. It feels like something you should have grown out of by now. And maybe you've told yourself this. I'm just lazy. But let me say this clearly, softly, firmly. You are not lazy. Laziness means you don't care. But look at you. You do care. That's why you feel guilty when you don't start. That's why you feel anxious when you delay. That's why the undone thing keeps haunting you. If you were truly lazy, you wouldn't even feel that ache inside. So what is it then? Why do we push things away? Sometimes it's fear. Fear of doing it wrong. Fear of not being good enough. Fear that once we begin, the world will see us and maybe reject us. Other times it's perfectionism. We want it to be flawless, shining, worthy of applause. So we wait until we feel ready, but ready never arrives. And sometimes it's just exhaustion. Your body is tired. Your mind is overwhelmed. Your heart is whispering, I need a break. Procrastination isn't laziness. It's a whisper, a signal, a pause button pressed by your inner self. Think of it like this. Imagine you're driving a car on a rainy night. Your heart suddenly pulls the emergency brake. Not because you hate driving, but because it feels unsafe to keep going. That's procrastination. Your soul saying, wait, it doesn't feel safe yet. But here's the truth. The longer we wait, the heavier it gets. The undone task grows bigger in our minds, like a shadow stretching across the floor at sunset. At first, it's small, but as the hours pass, it becomes giant, impossible, terrifying. And then we run. We scroll. We clean random things. We distract ourselves with 100 little actions that don't matter, all to avoid the one action that does. Sound familiar? I want you to imagine this. A child standing at the edge of a swimming pool. They know how to swim. They even love the water. But in that moment, standing on the edge, their legs shake. Not because they don't want to swim, but because the jump feels huge. Their heart races. Their mind says, not yet. That child is you. That hesitation is not weakness. It's fear disguised as waiting. So let's reframe this together. Procrastination isn't a character flaw. It's a clue. It's your soul asking for kindness. Maybe you need to shrink the task into something smaller. Maybe you need to remind yourself that mistakes are safe. Maybe you just need to rest first, then begin again. Because procrastination is not a verdict. It's just a pause. And pauses can be beautiful. Music needs pauses to create rhythm. Stories need pauses to let us breathe. Even our own hearts beat with a pause in between. So if you're in a pause right now, don't hate yourself for it. Don't shame yourself for it. Just listen. Your procrastination is whispering something. Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's tiredness. Maybe it's longing for safety. Whatever it is, it's not laziness. It's a quiet message from your soul. And when you hear it that way, something shifts. You stop calling yourself lazy. And you start asking yourself, what do I need right now to feel safe enough to begin? That's where the healing begins. Here's the turning point. The moment we shift from being stuck to moving softly, gently. When I say shift, I don't mean a big explosion of motivation. I don't mean fire, hustle, or a dramatic breakthrough. I mean something smaller. Something almost invisible. Something that feels like the tiniest spark in the dark. Because the truth is, big change begins with small steps. Think about it. Every mountain is climbed step by step. Every book is written word by word. Every song begins with a single note. And you don't have to conquer everything tonight. You don't have to finish the race in one breath. You only need one tiny step. Let me give you some gentle examples. If you're afraid to write a paper, just open the document. That's it. If you've been avoiding cleaning your room, pick up one shirt. 1. If you've been putting off a phone call, dial the number. You don't even have to talk yet. Just hold the phone in your hand. If you've been dreaming of painting, place the brush on the table. Touch it. That's already a beginning. These are not silly actions. They are powerful. Because once you do the first tiny thing, the second becomes easier. Momentum builds like a gentle river current. I remember once I had to finish a project that scared me. I stared at it for weeks. Every day I told myself, tomorrow. And tomorrow always slipped away. Then one night I whispered to myself, just 5 minutes. That's all. So I set a timer. I worked for 5 minutes. And you know what? I didn't stop. Those 5 minutes became 30. 30 became 2 hours. All because I lowered the mountain into a single step. So here's the mantra I want you to hold close tonight. Done is kinder than perfect. Say it again with me. Done is kinder than perfect. Perfection whispers, Wait until you're flawless. Kindness whispers, do it now even if it's messy. Which voice feels softer in your heart? Which voice would you rather follow? I want you to picture this. You're holding a match in your hand. It's tiny, almost weightless. But when you strike it, even in the darkest cave, it lights the way. That's what one small action can do. It doesn't change the whole world instantly, but it changes the atmosphere. It opens the door. It tells your heart, see, we can move. So tonight, I invite you to choose one micro step. Not 10, not 5, just one. Write one word, wash one plate, fold one shirt, send one message. And let that be enough. Because it is. The freedom you're searching for isn't in a giant leap. It's in a small, almost invisible moment of courage. And when you string those small moments together, they become something beautiful. They become change. So remember this gentle truth. You don't need to fight procrastination with force. You don't need to shame yourself into action. You only need to invite yourself into motion. One breath, one step, one gentle act of kindness to your future self. That's the shift. From fear to micro-action. From shame to softness. From waiting to beginning. Tiny steps. Big freedom. There comes a moment when you realize procrastination isn't just about tasks. It's about the quiet fight inside you. A fight between fear and courage. Between silence and voice. Between waiting and showing up. And here's my truth for you tonight. You don't need motivation. You need a kinder inner voice. Motivation is loud. It shouts, do it now. Don't stop. Work harder. But procrastination doesn't answer to shouting. It only hides deeper in the shadows. What melts procrastination is not force. It's kindness. Gentle encouragement. The same way you'd talk to a child who's afraid to step into the water. You wouldn't yell at them. You wouldn't say, you're lazy. Jump already. You'd kneel beside them, smile softly, and whisper, it's okay. Take your time. I'm right here. That's what your heart needs from you. Not a drill sergeant, but a friend. I remember one evening, I had a piece of writing due. The deadline was already close. And yet there I was, staring at a blank screen, frozen. I told myself all the usual things. You're wasting time. You're terrible at this. You'll never get it done. And the more I scolded myself, the smaller I felt. Until I wanted to disappear. But then, I paused. And I tried something new. I whispered to myself, Phoenix, sweetheart, let's just write one messy sentence. Nobody has to see it but you. So I did. One sentence. And then another. And another. And by midnight, I had finished the entire piece. Not because I screamed at myself, but because I finally spoke kindly. So here's the spark I want to share. The gentle fight worth having is not against procrastination itself. It's against the harshness in your own mind. Replace it with kindness. Replace it with patience. Replace it with a softer tone. Because progress isn't loud. It doesn't always look heroic. Most of the time, it's quiet. It's sitting down, showing up, trying again. Even if no one else notices. Think of it like planting seeds. You don't scream at the soil, grow faster. You water it. You give it sunlight. You wait. And one day the green shoots appear. That's how your efforts grow too. Not through pressure, but through gentle care. So the next time you feel frozen, whisper this to yourself. I don't need to be perfect. I don't need to be fast. I just need to show up, kindly. And remember, showing up, even clumsily, is still showing up. And showing up is sacred. Because the real victory isn't crossing the finish line. The real victory is beginning at all. The real victory is returning again and again despite fear. The real victory is fighting softly, with kindness. That is the gentle fight worth having. Let's pause for a moment and look at procrastination with fresh eyes. What if you're not behind? What if you're simply preparing? Think about it. The waiting, the delaying, the circling around, it might not be wasted time. It might be your heart's way of gathering courage. It might be your spirit's way of making sure the soil is rich enough before the seed is planted. We often shame ourselves for taking too long. But time is not an enemy. Sometimes time is a teacher. The pause before action? It shapes us. It teaches us patience, humility, and clarity. And when we finally begin, we bring all of that with us. Let me tell you a story. Leonardo da Vinci, one of the greatest artists of all time. He began painting the Mona Lisa around the year 1503. Do you know how long it took him to finish? Over 16 years. 16 years. People thought he was distracted. People thought he was wasting his genius. But Leonardo wasn't wasting time. He was studying. He was experimenting. He was waiting for the right feeling, the right light, the right brushstroke. And when the painting was finally complete, it became one of the most beloved works of art in history. So here's the reframe. Delays are not always failures. Sometimes they are part of the masterpiece. Your procrastination might feel like a flaw, but maybe it's your inner Leonardo waiting for the right light. I know this isn't an excuse to never act. Of course, we must take steps. We must move gently forward. But it's also important to know this truth. Imperfect beginnings hold sacred magic. You don't need to wait until everything is perfect. You don't need to wait 16 years like Leonardo. But you also don't need to shame yourself if things take time. Because the beauty isn't just in the finishing. It's in the starting. It's in the trying. It's in the slow unfolding. So if you've been delaying something, let this story be your comfort. You're not lazy. You're preparing. And preparation is still progress. Tonight's word is not just for your English. It's also for your heart. The idiom is, better late than never. This means, it's good to do something, even if it is late. It's better to act eventually than not at all. Think of a seed. Maybe you forgot to plant it last spring. Months passed, and you almost gave up. But one day you finally press it into the soil. You water it, and slowly it begins to grow. Yes, it came later than you hoped. But still it grows. Still it becomes something beautiful. That's the truth of better late than never. No matter how long you wait, starting now is still worth it. Procrastination often makes us believe we've missed the chance. That if we didn't do it yesterday, last week, last year, it's over. But that's not true. The beauty of life is that beginnings are always available. Every sunrise whispers, try again. Every breath is a quiet permission slip, start now. So whenever you feel guilty for being late, remember this idiom. Say it softly to yourself. Better late than never. Because the important thing isn't how long it took. The important thing is that you did it. So tonight, I want you to hold this idiom close. Maybe even whisper it aloud. Let it be your anchor when procrastination whispers, it's too late. Because the truth is, it's never too late. Better late than never. So, my dear friend, we've walked together through this quiet forest of procrastination. We've seen the shadows, the fear, the hesitation, the whispers of not yet. We've learned that procrastination isn't laziness, it's a pause. It's a whisper of fear, a need for safety, a longing for gentleness. And we've also learned this. You don't need to wait for perfect. You don't need to scream at yourself for motivation. You only need one thing, a kinder voice inside. So here's my invitation for you tonight. Don't try to change everything. Don't try to rewrite your whole life in one evening. Instead, choose one tiny action. One seed. One step. It could be writing one sentence. It could be washing one dish. It could be sending one "I miss you" message. Or maybe, simply making that one cup of tea. Whatever it is, let it be small. Let it be gentle. Let it be yours. Because the truth is, small actions create big freedom. And every time you move, even in the tiniest way, you are building trust with yourself. You are proving, I can begin. I can keep going. I am not stuck forever. Before we close, I want to leave you with this blessing. Wherever you are listening from, in your bed, on a walk, at your desk surrounded by quiet tasks, may you feel a soft peace in your chest. May you remember that you are not broken for delaying. You are simply human. And being human is beautifully messy. May you find courage in the small steps. May you feel lightness when you choose to begin. And may you carry this gentle truth with you. It is never too late. Not for the email. Not for the dream. Not for the love you've been waiting to give. Never too late. Better late than never. So, friend, as this episode closes, I invite you to do one thing. Just one. Something you've been delaying. Not for me. Not for anyone else. But for you. For the quiet joy of knowing you showed up. Thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for your ears, your heart, your trust. And remember, you are never behind. You are always allowed to begin again. I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, may your days be gentle, may your nights be peaceful, and may your heart always know. You are enough. Exactly as you are. And every small step is sacred. Good night, my friend.